You all be seated. The jury exhibit yet, right? Yeah. The two that day, yeah. Give me those two, I'll put them on the record. Right, we'll go back on the record. State of Wisconsin versus Todd Kendhammer, 16 CF 909. Been advised that there is a verdict at this point. Put a few things on the record before we continue. We had two jury questions, if you want to call it that. 540, could we receive photos 19 through 41, exhibits? We sent those in. 541 was, can we view photo exhibits from Dr. McCubben's autopsy? And we sent in basically all the photographs received during her testimony. Not necessarily every exhibit, but between exhibit 6 through 74 for the state and 201 through 204 for the defense. Exhibit 542 is when I released the 13th juror after the bailiff conferred with counsel. There was no objection. And Exhibit 543 is a photograph and email that the courthouse remained open up through this point, so that's part of the record. So any objection to those exhibits, Mr. Grinke?
No.
Mr. Hurley?
No.
All right. Right, in a few minutes I'm going to ask the jury to come in. I expect absolutely no comments in any way, shape, or form from any member of this courtroom at this time. Anyone that does so will be disrespectful to the jury, first of all. And second of all, the deputies have been directed to take out individuals that may pose a problem. And that doesn't matter which way the verdict is. So we'll see what happens. The jury's ready, bring them in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's my understanding you've reached a verdict, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you reduced it to the verdict form you believe correctly?
Yes, sir.
You can give that to the bailiff and everyone may be seated. Mr. Kendhammer, if you'd please rise for the reading of the verdict. State of Wisconsin versus Todd A. Kendhammer, 16 CF 909. We, the jury, find the defendant, Todd A. Kendhammer, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in the information. Dated this 14th day of December, 2017. Signed, Timothy, foreperson. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the verdict I just read is this is the verdict of each of you. Would you please raise your right hand? I see all 12 jurors have raised their right hand. Thank you. Mr. Grinke, do you wish the jury polled?
No.
Mr. Hurley?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this point I will ask each of you individually by pointing at you what your verdict was, and then you can put that on the record. We'll start with you, Timothy.
Guilty.
You? All right, all 12 jurors have responded guilty. Anything further from the defense? Ladies and gentlemen, at this time your service to the county is completed. There's several things I need to talk to you about. Once you are in the jury room, I'll be there momentarily. You are now discharged. There's no further requirement of secrecy. You may talk to anyone you wish about this case, and you don't have to talk to anybody at all if you do not want to. And I'll see you in a few minutes. The record could show we're now outside the presence of the jury. Mr. Grinke, any further comments?
No, Your Honor, we're going to ask that his bond be revoked pending sentencing.
Mr. Hurley, anything further?
Not at this time.
Okay. Well, the court, having heard the testimony, will accept the jury's verdict. I'll enter a judgment of conviction on behalf of Mr. Kendhammer on count 1, first-degree intentional homicide, contrary to Wisconsin statute section 940.01, parent 1, parent A, and 939.50, parent 3, parent A. I will revoke your bond. You'll be remanded to the custody of the sheriff. I'll set sentencing for March 9th, starting at 9 o'clock. I'll ask that any PSI be submitted to the court no later than the 1st of March. We're adjourned.
How do you keep your head up? All right, Dad, we'll get you out. Don't worry about it.